Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a GTA 6 video that will not be clickbait for a change, which is quite nice. So GTA 5 has been around since 2013, and in the up and coming years we do expect a GTA 6. And with that being said, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. If you are to YouTube GTA 6, there's a lot of clickbaity videos out there claiming to have footage and trailers and etc. But all of it is hoaxes and all of it is unlegitimate, just fan-made evidence that they've pulled together through mad theories, etc. So I thought it would be refreshing to have a GTA related video that isn't going to be clickbaited and instead is on the surface as honest as it is. It's a theory concept video. It is a GTA 6 video from a guy who's played GTA games since he was a kid, and pretty much concepts and ideas that I would like to see implemented in GTA 6. My prediction for when GTA 6 will come out is probably 2023, as GTA 5 came out in 2013. 2013. So 10 years later would be 2023, which I think isn't a thing that Rockstar is shy to do, considering they did the same thing with Red Dead Redemption. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see GTA 6 for a very long time. And with that being said, here's some concepts and ideas to implement into that game to make it even better than its original GTA 5 counterpart. With that being said, let's get into the video. So I've gotten a little weird looking high school mind map type looking thing here with some GTA 6 written on it. And some little key points I would like to talk about. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the location. The location for the game. Where would we like the location to be set? I would really like it to be in a different country depending on missions, if that makes sense. I feel like it would be a nice idea to try and get... Well, obviously we know it's going to be set in America, but I think it would be a nice idea if we had a few missions where we could go elsewhere, maybe to the UK, maybe to some foreign African areas, maybe just to get a change of scenery. I feel like in GTA 5, just talking from GTA 5's point of view, it's all very city-based. Everything's quite like in LA. It's like set in LA, Los Angeles. The city of LS in GTA 5 is all city-based, and there's just a lot of it is like high skyscrapers and things we've seen before in the GTA 5 series. Then there's a bit up north, there's a bit of the desert area, the Sandy Shores, Palito Bay area, and then a little bit more like rugged wilderness and wildland areas up towards Mount Chiliad and all that sort of area. So I feel like it would be nice to have a bit of a change of scenery, maybe a change of the landscape. Maybe if we went to, like, say, one mission involving going to like an African country or somewhere like that, get a nice change of scenery, something a bit new and fresh-faced to the GTA series might be interesting. Possibly going to London. I'm an England civilian myself. You guys as well out there might be fans from the UK who Rockstar Studios have actually set up in Scotland now, so that could be interesting. Maybe a little mission or two where we go to Scotland or London, for example. Somewhere like that in the UK would be quite nice to see the GTA 5 characters, or not GTA 5 characters, GTA 6 protagonists go and do some missions maybe in the UK, which could be quite a cool idea. But that's just it. I do think, with it being a GTA game, I do think that Rockstar will set it in the US, most likely, because that's their like sort of home comfort area. Obviously, we had GTA 3, I think all of them actually, GTA 2, 3, 4 and 5 have all been set in New York with GTA 4. I think LS has been revisited since CJ and all that, and GTA 3. So San Andreas and all that. So I do assume that they will probably go to America again, but it would be a nice change of scenery to try and get some different environments in there. Maybe more desert areas, maybe more sort of, I don't know, maybe tundra, snowy areas, maybe like a section where you can go up to Canada, maybe that could be a cool idea. I just think the location means a lot because I feel like we've been in cities and experienced sort of city life. And I do think that's a big part of GTA, so that should constantly be in the franchise. But I feel like exploring different areas might be a little bit more interesting. Could be an idea. But the map size. The map size currently for GTA is quite big. GTA 5's map is quite big, but I feel like a lot of it is big but empty. And I feel there's a difference in having the world's biggest video game map and then having the world's most emptiest. You know, sometimes it's good to have a really small map that's really densely populated with different things to do. Sometimes it's quite nice to have a large open map, but the problems with that is you've got to make it feel full. And sadly, after playing on GTA since 2013, and now it's 2020, so playing for a long time, I can honestly say that the map does feel a little bit empty at times. If you're not in the city, from traveling to the city to the north of the map, it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on. It feels like there's a lot of dead space. That I feel like if GTA were gonna, GTA 6 was gonna be a thing, they have to fill in some stuff with that map area and do a little bit more with the map to make it feel more lived in. I definitely think a big, nice open map is great for GTA. It fits the genre well, but it just needs to have a lot of different activities, and we'll get into things like what it could be later on down the line, but definitely needs to be a little bit more populated than what we've had in previous GTA series games. So, moving on swiftly to the weapons in the game. Now, this is going to be a dependent. So GTA 5, when it first came out, was quite realistic, quite modern to the time era. It was very like true to life, and it hinted at a lot of things that was going on in the world. Because of that, it was, you know, had modern cars, it had modern guns, it had modern weaponry, it had modern things that we'd all seen, you know, in our modern day life. Sadly, GTA 5, you know, the developers over at Rockstar for GTA 5's online section, when the game started getting a little bit dry and deteriorating a little bit online, they decided to implement some really ridiculous things like flying cars, flying motorcycles, laser guns, and gravity guns, which are fun to mess around with your friends. But if you're going to play if you're going to try and treat GTA series as being like a real role-play, immersing, like sort of giving you the ability to immerse yourself in a virtual world and have this as your virtual open world sandbox game, which it is meant to be, I feel like it kind of disjoints you a little bit when it implements things like laser weapons, flying cars, and flying motorbikes. That's just my opinion. You guys might disagree, but I feel like GTA is its best when it's quite immersive. I feel GTA 4 did that really well. It felt quite immersive, it felt like you were actually there, it felt like you could be that character, and it felt quite real at the time. And obviously I feel that is a problem with video game developers. Sometimes they make a really good game, and then they sometimes get a bit bored, so they add some really random things into it. But I feel like if they could try and beat that this time round for GTA 6 and leave it to be quite realistic, and just add more stuff in. There is loads of real-world handguns, loads of real-world assault rifles, shotguns, snipers, pistols, all sorts of things to keep people entertained. Don't just jump to what's flashy and exciting, laser weapons. Don't just jump to that conclusion. Try and think about what's in the world. I mean, it's been years, and I don't think I've ever played a GTA game where I've had a Glock. That's my favourite pistol. I think it's a really cool gun. You see it a lot in movies. Fully automatic handgun pistol, Glock thing. Never been in GTA 5 games. Never been in GTA games at all. Sniper rifles, shotguns, different types of weaponry. Never been, you know, there's been limited in every game, I feel. And I feel like there's a lot more with real world weaponry that we could use before we have to branch off to recreating Star Trek. So, realistic weaponry, realistic time period would definitely be my go-to for a GTA 6. Moving down swiftly to the gameplay elements. There's a lot of gameplay elements that I feel like need to be edited and changed. Red Dead Redemption 2 has done this quite well. And I'm very, very pleased to see that Rockstar have managed to do this with Red Dead 2, after seeing what GTA has been like. The first big game changer that I feel like needs to be implemented that Red Dead has refined, but maybe not perfected it just at this moment. But I feel like it's a very good quality of the game. I feel like the wanted system. So in GTA 5 games or in Rockstar's games, when you when you've committed a crime, you get a wanted level. In other GTA games, including GTA 5, if you were to, say, rob someone's car, you instantly get a wanted level and the police instantly know of your crime, know your location, and immediately start hunting you. It's a bit unrealistic because, you know, people can rob cars and if it's not been reported, and even when it gets reported, the police don't automatically jump onto the location of the person who's robbed that car. It feels a little bit weird to have to explain this, but like in Red Dead 2, they've updated this and perfected it to the point where if you commit a crime, you get notified as a witness to that crime. So say if you are on Red Dead 2 and you shoot somebody, another civilian will see that person be shot and then immediately try and run to the nearest law town or sheriff's office to try and get the law to come and investigate. So I feel like that's a game changer that they've tried to implement. GTA 6, I feel like they really need to refine that and perfect it a bit more. It let us commit crime. It's a game about committing crimes. Let us commit crimes and then let the police have to do some work, do some digging. Maybe, for example, if there's a sort of street gunfight, you might hear a civilian calling the police, then the police would come to the area. It'd let you have like a little notification pop up telling you that police are coming to the area. You've got so many minutes before the response time is here. And then you've got to like get out of there pretty much or lay low, and then you could actually see the police come to the scene of the crime, start taking some pictures of the bodies and things like that and investigating the crime scene and have it more real, have it more realistic. instead of just the police instantly knowing where you are, which is a bit silly. I feel like that breaks the immersion a little bit. Other than that, there's a lot of different gameplay elements. When the fist fighting comes into play, Red Dead Redemption 2 has amazing fist fighting in it. I'm a big fan of hand-to-hand combat in video games. I don't feel like a lot of them do it enough, but I really liked it when Red Dead 2 implemented it into theirs, and we got to experience what that was like to have brawls and fist fights and things. I feel like GTA 6 could really use a lot from Red Dead 2 and their gameplay changes to really make it more immersive and make it more realistic and more visceral, because it's an 18 rated video game where there's gunfights and all sorts of criminal activity. I feel like if you're gonna go for it, you should really go for it. And whether you've got an assault rifle or a machine gun, you should also have the same sort of visceral violence when it comes to the fist fight and the hand-to-hand combat. Let your character be able to be trained and progress through stages of hand-to-hand combat. Maybe at first when they start trying to fight, they're a bit more brawler and they're not very good. Maybe let them have like sessions where they could go to like little mini games where you could train to fight and train to strengthen up your hand-to-hand combat skill set, and then get to go and be even better. So 1 minute you start off as just being like this clumsy brawling fist fighting type character, but then you go and do a few mini games where you practice punching, practice kicking. Maybe it's like a jiu-jitsu type thing, karate type thing, I don't know. You could try and implement something like that as a hobby, as like a pastime. Similar to how tennis is in GTA 5 as a pastime, you could have like a hand-to-hand combat training thing as a pastime, and you could level up your characters. So yeah, in the first early days of the game, you'll be like fist fighting a bit sluggishly, a bit rubbish, but the more you refine your fist fighting ability and your hand-to-hand combat, you'll be able to do like arm bars, submissions, things like that, and really learn how to hold your own. Kind of John Wick style type fighting. I feel like that's a cool element to the game that they've not really experimented with, and I think like as cool as it is to have obviously the guns and everything, it's also cool to really get up and close and personal and do some hand-to-hand melee combat and stuff like that. I feel like that could be an element that I would really like to see explored. Also, you've got the things with like the hair growth that Red Dead does for the characters. Obviously, over a period of time, your hair can grow, so you can shape it and style it depending on how long your hair's grown. When Arthur in Red Dead gets a really long beard, you can style it and change it up. His hair the same. So I feel like that could be an implemented thing for GTA 6's storyline and online. I would like to see it online. A lot of these things I would like to see in both story and online, because I feel like sometimes they really hammer the storyline and then they leave the online a little bit sluggish, and I feel like more people are going to play the online than the story. So I would really focus on the online as well as the story elements. But that's just my personal opinion. My girlfriend Helen has recently started playing GTA with me recently, and she had a few things to do with the gameplay changes. So off camera, she's going to give her 2 cents on it. Go, Helen! 1 second, Helen's collecting her thoughts.
So, I don't like this, it smells weird. When you're changing seats with the driver, you have to, at the minute, you've got to get out of the car, and you've got to both, and then you've got to, no, when you, oh, I can't do it, you do it, I can't do it.
No, that's right, go on, no, explain it, it was good, that was good. Yeah, so Helen and me play a lot of co-op online together, and there's this thing where we want to drive around together. Helen's just learning GTA, she's like getting into it a bit. So sometimes what we want to do, for an example, on GTA 5 online, we will pull up to like a mission. I will then get out the car, and then I will go and do like the fighting and the gun stuff, and then I'll come back, and then Helen's character automatically crawls through the car and ends up sitting in the driver's seat. So then when I get to her, she then has to get out the car, walk all the way around, get back into the passenger seat, and I have to get into the driver's seat. And by the time you've done all that, you've either been shot by the police, shot by the enemy, or died, and it's quite annoying. So I think what Helen's trying to get at is, at the minute, there is no option to switch seats in the car. You have to get out, walk all the way around. It's quite tedious and quite annoying, and it can get in the way of things. So maybe implement a button for online, especially if you're playing with a group of friends, instead of being able, like, because the characters automatically just want to sit in the driver's seat. If you're with 4 friends and you want to drive, but your friends get in the car first, one of them will sit in the driver's seat first. And it's like quite annoying, because then they've got to get out and walk around and swap and stuff. So I feel like what we're trying to get at is the fact that it's just a little change to the gameplay where you could, if it's someone's car, you could set them as a driver and then set the other people as passengers. And then if they needed to, they could hold a button that could allow them to swap to either the passenger seat or the driver's seat at any given time. because there is a lot of times where you are playing with your friends and sometimes it's very clunky because one of you is driving the car, then you get out and then your friend swaps with you. Automatically it just does it, and it's just a weird gameplay mechanic that we would like to see fixed, and I think a lot of people would. It's a bit hard to explain without showing you anything of it, but if you play GTA you'll know what I'm kind of talking about. It's just an automatic thing your character does online, it just swaps the driver's seat around. And what was the other idea that you had? The clothing one.
All the clothes that you buy should be accessible in the style menu.
Yes. So GTA 5 has this thing where you can purchase clothes for your character online and in single player. You can purchase clothes for them. But in order to put these clothes on, you have to go to a clothing store and then save them as pre-saved outfits. But what can be quite annoying is, say if you buy a specific t-shirt, you then have to go to the t-shirt category and scan through all like 105 t-shirts that there are to find the one that you've bought, which is really tedious and really annoying. And then if you want to just wear that t-shirt, you have to save it to an outfit, but there's no like easy way to mix and match and swap your clothes around. I feel like what would be a cool thing to do is if every clothing item you purchased, you could either maybe favorite or put a star next to it, just so you can get quicker access to it. Instead of when you buy a new hat, you've got to scroll through 105 hats before you can find the hat you just recently bought, and it can be quite tedious and quite annoying. Also, the idea of being able to have saved outfits but to swap them on the fly. So sometimes I have a character who like wears a suit, sometimes his top button's undone, and sometimes I want him to wear a tie. Instead of having to make a copy of that outfit, one with a tie, one without a tie, I just think it would be a cool idea that you could have a character in a suit and tie, and then when you want to, you could press a button and it could take his tie off and maybe like just show him putting it in his pocket or putting it somewhere else, instead of having to have duplicate outfits with like slight alterations, like one with glasses, one without. There's not even an option for you to take your glasses on and off. I feel like that's pretty mad. Little tiny tedious things like that, and like to add a watch on, you have to save a whole new outfit just to add a watch onto your character. I feel like more easy access, a lot more of the easy accessible things, because it's kind of like when you're carrying on GTA, you can buy loads of weapons, and you can carry all the weapons around with you at once, and you can just select them on a big weapon wheel. There should be something fairly similar to clothes, because if you can just like, if you're going to be like slightly unrealistic, then you might as well go for it, because if you're going to walk around and be able to carry like 100 guns at once, why can't you carry like your t-shirts around with you? It's like it's a bit mad that you can't just do that. And I feel like other different accessories and stuff that I think they're missing out. Different glasses, different watches, backpacks, the option to have a backpack on your character, things like that. I don't know how immersive they would make it, because it would be a little bit too technical maybe for a console game, but the Xbox One X series is actually looking like it's going to be a quite beastly console, so I'm sure they could do some really cool things with that. But yeah, clothing, accessories, and outfits, and saving and things like that. Just tiny little gameplay errors. But there's so many things. There's like Helen was mentioning before about jumping. So there's a jumping animation in GTA, but it's a little bit broken. If your character is really high up, say they're high up on a ledge and they jump from that ledge, instead of them trying to like maybe like land and do a roll or like land in a certain way, they just like fall off. Like they have this really stupid animation where they just fall off and then just headbutt the ground, and that's quite annoying. Maybe more like parkour, free run element into the game, where again you could practice that with your character, train them up for a series of mini games and things like that to strengthen their ability of how to like free climb and do a bit of like parkour and things, instead of just making them look like a bumbling idiot, like they just fall straight off ledges, and it's just a bit daft. It ruins the immersion again. There was another thing we were talking about.
Graphics of the characters.
Yeah.
And the animation when getting in vehicles.
Yeah, so there's an animation bug at the minute going around with Red Dead and GTA 5, where if you are like interacting with, say, like a vending machine or a phone booth or something like that, you like tap the button to interact, and then the character does like a massive like walk around the room before they actually end up doing anything. It looks really weird when you're trying to like just simply, it's like press this button to pick up the phone, and instead of your character just picking up the phone and putting it to the head, they start doing this big like waltz around the room spin before they actually get to the phone's only in front of them, but they just do like a lap of the room before they even pick up the phone, and it's just a bit clunky and a bit, again, breaks the immersion. I think on the whole we just want more of an immersive experience to the game. Let it be really immersive and really like roleplay-esque, instead of being able to just look really clunky and weird. But that's just the thing that you could probably easily change, that they've just never looked into. And then the graphics as well. So obviously Graphics get better with age and with time, and on the Xbox One version of GTA 5, they don't look as good as the Xbox One X's version of GTA 5, and then they don't look as good as the Red Dead 2 characters. But I think Rockstar has a real problem, and I probably have never seen this, because when I play online, I like to make a character that looks like me, so it's like me in the video game online type thing. But female characters especially, maybe it's been a little bit fixed for Red Dead 2, but mainly in like the GTA games, female online characters, they look a bit weird. Like, not to be horrible, but we made Helen a character, and we tried to make it like follow the tutorial to make it the best looking version of a female character in the game, and she still looks like a melted candle wax at sometimes. Her face just looks all like weird and square, and it's like no, but it's like all the females look really manly. They look really manly, and it looks weird. Like, they look quite strange. I think Red Dead 2's fixed it a little bit, but they still look weird. So on the whole, we need to fix the female characters within GTA 6. Definitely, we have to update them, and then just an overall graphics change, because I feel like in GTA they focused a lot on just what the main characters look like. So in single player, what the main characters look like, what the side characters kind of look like, what the villains look like. What online, it's just like what you and your friends look like. But all the civilians walk around, they look like a melted toad. So it's like, make everything look nice. Don't just focus on certain characters and then leave the rest of the world looking like melted TVs. Like, everyone needs to look fairly realistic, otherwise it breaks the immersion. Moving on to the story. Story, I feel GTA does, I don't have to talk about this, GTA does great with stories. I felt GTA 5 story was good, GTA 4 story was good. I feel like Red Dead 2 story was epic. My favourite video game story to play through. Really, really fell in love with it. So keep doing the same good shit you do with the stories. That's fine. Just make everything look nice, make everything feel more modern and realistic, and make it feel like immersive. It's the main thing. But other than that, you're smashing it. Keep up the good work with the story. Online, this is where you guys fail. Alright, Rockstar fails badly. Online, we need voice-acted characters. I don't like this silent shit. This silent shit doesn't work for me. When you're in a cutscene and you've got Lester really going for it, talking like, oh god, yeah, we're going to rob this bank, aren't we? We're going to become multi-millionaires, aren't we, guys? And then it cuts to your character, and your character just stands there like this. And it's like, speak, goddammit. There's voices in the game. Just give them a voice. Get 5 or 6 different males to do different voices for the characters. Get 5 or 6 different females to do voice acting lines for some characters. And then when you're making your character, you can like select which voice you would like your character. I know a few characters might sound the same online, but we can forgive that. It's worse when everyone's silent. It makes the scene so awkward and weird. It's just awful. I can't believe this has never been discussed before. But we need talking online characters. End of story. That is it. Also make the characters more customizable. I feel like in GTA 5, all the males kind of look the same. All the females kind of look the same. In Red Dead 2, it's a little bit better, but not perfect. I feel like, you know, let us have the choice of really detailing creating these characters. They're going to be characters we're going to, you know, if you do a good job, they're going to be characters that the fans are going to be playing as for hours and hours and hours, and if not days and weeks and months on end. I've got over 63 hours in, 63 days in GTA 5. So, online. So, 63 days. So, like, people are going to spend a long time as these characters, make them customizable, and also allow people to edit their characters for free. Stop charging us, because one day you might feel you want a character to look one way, the next day you might want them to look different, and it's stupid, you got to pay 100... What?
Things do not need to be £1 million.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. No. We'll get to that in a minute.
£10,000.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that. Whoa, hold your horses there, Helen. Hold your horses there, Helen. Yeah. More customizable characters. Don't make us pay to change our characters' looks. Let us change them. It's, you know, let us do that. That's stupid. Online, obviously, the servers need to be a good size. People need to be able to join. Invite-only sessions need to be a thing. There needs to be a much more, you know, integrated method of dealing with trashy, trolling players. Players who just fly around in their fucking spaceship cars, blowing up your motorbikes, killing your businesses, being dicks. They need to get sorted out. Put all of them in their own server so they can troll and mess around with themselves and let other people chill. I feel like that's a genuine thing that you need to do. I'm not just taking the mick. If someone's going around just murdering people for no reason whatsoever, just killing them, let them be able to be reported, but not banned, just reported. And if they sustain maybe 10 reports, 15 reports, then they get put into a reported server with other reported players, and they can all just mess around and screw each other up.
Or
that's fine. What?
Just do the Red Dead thing and go in defensive mode.
Yeah, but that ruins it as well, because then you walk around looking like a ghost. It looks stupid. No. Put them in a reported session and leave them to their own devices. It's fine. Let them do that. But yeah, moving on to the online, we do need to talk about prices. Prices for everything. For Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 are mind-blowing. For a gun in Red Dead 2, which is a cowboy western game, it costs $400. There is no way in the cowboy era people had $400 to spend on a gun. People in the Red Dead cowboy era of history had millions of guns. There was guns everywhere, guns galore. And I tell you, people weren't walking around with $400 to buy them all. People probably bought them for really cheap prices because they were sold for really cheap prices because there was an abundance of them. In GTA 6 online, please, for the love of God, do your mathematical financial research and get real world prices. If there's a character who wants to purchase a Ferrari, Google how much a Ferrari is, and that model of the Ferrari that is in your game has a real world equivalent. I know you have to change it and call it like Ferrara instead of Ferrari for copyright reasons. That's fine. Put real world cars into the game, modify them and tweak them any way you have to make it avoidable of copyright, but make the prices match. Don't make people pay £4 million for a car when there isn't a £4 million world equivalent. You know, that's pretty mad. I mean, you can buy £10 million gold-plated plane in in GTA 5 Online, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, I know you want people to purchase shark cards and make money. By all means, keep shark cards in the game. I think they're a great thing to have. But don't make people want to buy them for stupid reasons. Maybe every now and then, add a really expensive, really nice vehicle of your choosing that's really cool, and give it a random price. Give it a really high price, but make it worth that high price. Don't go mad and go, well, we need to add laser tanks and jetpacks and flying saucers and that crap. Make real world, there's plenty of real world things that cost good amounts of money that rich ballers want to go out and spend money on. That's fine. Make everything real world price equivalent. No one is gonna, you know, the standard t-shirt isn't £500 to purchase. Most of the time, it's about $9.50. So let's go and make things the real world equivalent price. That is the one and all thing that you need to do, because it ruins the immersion. Make guns the price of a real gun in America. Make cars the real world prices of that car. Make clothes the right price. Don't charge and rip off the fan base. The fan base is here. You guys have seen that. People are going to love this game when it comes out eventually. People are going to be addicted to it. People are going to play it. People are going to grind at it. If you make it so it's affordable, it's cheap, and it's accessible for everyone to enjoy themselves on it, and you control the content you release, people are really going to love this game, because they will. It's a Rockstar game. Everyone goes mad for him. GTA, everyone went mad for it. Red Dead, everyone went mad for it. You guys know what you do when it comes to making video games. Just don't rip off your fan base. We love you as it is, but don't rip us off, because we're still going to be here even if your $10 million car costs $500,000. We're still going to love the game and play the shit out of it. So keep the fans happy. It'll keep you guys happy too. You're making more than enough money, let's be fair. Right, moving on from that side rant. DLC content. Rockstar. DLC content needs to be a thing for story mode and for online. GTA has got some great DLCs. It's got the Casino Heist DLC. That was boss. It had the first ever Heist DLC. That was amazing. It had all these other cool little storyline DLCs that you added into GTA Online. That was fantastic. Red Dead has got these character roles. They're kind of new and cool and exciting with the moonshining, the hunting trading, the sheriff and bounty hunter one. That sounds really cool. They're all really cool DLCs, and I know that GTA 6 will have an abundance of them. Just don't mess them up by including stupid, random, weird things like laser ships, flying saucers, and Futurama shit. We don't need that. We don't need that. We're not playing Halo or Destiny. We're playing GTA. We want to play a realistic game that we can all relate to, not one where you go outside and someone's flying a bloody broomstick over the top of your head. Like, you don't need to do that. You've got plenty of good things to take from in the real world. Don't have to make up Star Trek, Star Wars laser weapons. No. I'm the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, but I don't want to see a lightsaber in GTA 6. That's not the time or place. Make a sci-fi game, set it in the future, fill it with sci-fi stuff, that's fine. Cost a fortune for it all. That's fine, that makes sense. But in the real world, GTA 6, be realistic to real worlds and explain and keep things the same as the real world. Prices, etc., content, nothing ridiculous. Keep it as it is. You can have cool tech and cool cars and cool guns and cool things, but don't go mad with it. Just keep it real, keep it modern, and keep it realistic. But yeah, DLC needs to be there frequently. It needs to be there so people enjoy it, and it needs to be padded out enough that it's worth downloading a DLC for it. Not that it's like a tiny update that includes 6 missions, something that's going to be worthwhile doing. Which I think GTA and Rockstar as a whole as a company are very good at doing that. So that's fine. Cars, planes, boats, etc. vehicles, make them realistic, make them affordable, make them real world prices. No one can argue with that. That's perfect, that's fine. A lot of things that everyone loves about GTA is the myths, urban legends. There's lots of myths and legends in GTA 5 that are pretty much made up. Like the Bigfoot one, it's impossible to find Bigfoot. It's impossible to solve the Mount Chiliad mystery. It's not a real mystery to solve, really. It's abundantly clear that we need real-world myths and legends and clues that we can explore and find. Don't just tickle a little Easter egg in front of us. Let us actually be able to get a reward at the end of finding this. Let us have like a monetary reason. So there's some money for finding that reward, for following that clue, for following the myths and legends. Something online to do with your friends that's going to be exciting and worthwhile to do. Fixes to the game. Obviously the bug crashes and things like that. Loading screens. When we died last night, me and Helen played a mission, we died and there was a loading screen that was like 10 minutes long, so we gave up and went on to a different game. Don't have a loading screen like that. Just make loading screens work better, make cutscenes work better, don't have weird glitches in it. But you guys will sort that out. Pretty much more variety, more sense of freedom and wonder and content. When it comes to a GTA sandbox open world open world game, we want open world. We want freedom, we want hobbies, we want pastimes, we want things to explore.
But no impossible races.
But no impossible races, no. We want things that are realistic and enjoyable. We want cool things in the game that we can get invested in and spend time in doing. Fishing, for example, in Red Dead was perfect. Put a modern version of fishing into GTA 6 online and in single player, that'd be great. Hunting, fantastic in Red Dead, we all love it. There's hunting in the modern world too. Put hunting in it. You got all the files from that, put it into GTA 6. You got loads of different activities. Rock climbing, cave exploration, scuba diving stuff. Make the oceans, the mountains, the deserts, the cities, the everywhere environments you're going to have around the map. Make them chock full of things to find, seek, explore, discover, and enjoy. Make it feel like it's a real world game where people can actually live in it. Where people have got things to do in it. Don't just leave things to be boring on the surface. Yes, the golfing and the tennis and the arm wrestling and the racing, all cool mini games and hobbies in GTA 5. Bring them back, refresh them, bring them back in, but add a shed ton more because people will goddamn go crazy for that stuff. We love little hobbies and pastimes and etc. I'm level 220 in GTA 5 online. I have had 63 days in GTA 5 online itself. I have had GTA installed since the day it came out on the Xbox One, and I had the remastered version of it, the updated Xbox One X version of it, installed when that released too. I have played and invested so much time and effort into Rockstar games, I could work for them and give them ideas for their stories and their DLCs and their updates. I would love to do that. That is kind of what this video is like. It's kind of a fan of Rockstar who's been a fan for years, since Red Dead 1, since San Andreas, since GTA 4, everything. I have been a fan of this series, and Rockstar Games are my favourite publishing company for gaming ever. I think they're amazing. I think you guys do so much that's amazing and so much cool stuff, but I feel like there is so much there, it's so annoying when a company that is so fantastic and brilliant lets themselves slip with such tiny, tiny, tiny problems. Call of Duty, massive problems. PUBG, massive problems. Fortnite, massive problems. Rockstar Games, minimum. We're talking tiny little detailed problems that if you guys sharpened up, you could be the best game developers worldwide. I think you already are, but you could boost yourselves even higher by just listening to the fan base and implementing into it what we like to hear. Videos like this, videos like around the world that people are going to make because they're fans of the GTA series and the fans of Rockstar Games themselves. I want GTA 6 to be worthwhile. I invested 63 days into GTA 5 Online alone. I've probably invested a lot more into Red Dead 2 when that came out. And I still play Red Dead 2 now to this day, and I still play GTA 5 to this day. I want to be sat here in 2032 or 2030 talking about GTA 7 and saying, I don't care what GTA 7 will bring because GTA 6 was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was great. I want it to be worthwhile investing another 63 days into, if not more. I want it to be, if GTA 5 was worth investing 63 days into, I want GTA 6 to be worth investing 120 days in. That's what I would like. I would love this game series. I'm going to love it and play it regardless, and people will nitpick it and people will shout at it. But I want to, at the end of its life cycle, at the end of 10 years of, you know, because Rockstar have made GTA 5 in 2013, it's now 2020. So by the time it's 2023, it'll have been 10 years since GTA 5's been out. And within those 10 years, I've only got, literally, this tiny little piece of paper. This tiny little piece of paper with problems to pick apart and really talk about. And some of them aren't even problems. Some of them are things I'd like to see in the game. So, on the whole, I want GTA... by the time I'm making this video reviewing GTA 6 and talking about what should be in GTA 7, I want this piece of paper to be half full instead of being full. Because I know it's capable. I know what Rockstar's games can do. I love this franchise. I love this publishing company. Rockstar Games, if you ever see this video, please, please, please listen to the points that I'm making. Because I'm not making them off the top of my head. I'm making them because I love this game series and this franchise. And I want to be there on the midnight release of GTA 6 with my Xbox One X at home, waiting to get it installed. And I can't wait to play the shit out of it. So thanks for watching this video, guys. It might be a long one. Currently unedited, it's 37 minutes. I'll try and edit it to get it a bit more snapped up and a bit more polished. But on the whole, hope you enjoyed the video. If you agree with anything, please like. Please comment down below your suggestions of things you'd like to see in the next GTA 6. And by the way, if you see anyone who's trolling with GTA 6 fake videos, tell them to sod off and come and watch this legitimate one. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.